The rivalry between Dricus du Plessis and Israel Adesanya isn't something that the fight fans are unaware of. Du Plessis even took to X and hinted at taking up the Last Stylebender for his first title defense. He also hinted that he agreed to the location of the fight. However, in a recent talk on the Sias du Plessis Show, he also targeted Khamzat Chimaev, claiming that he had an important role in helping Stillknocks move to the light heavyweight division and getting a title shot there. Now, as the hype around du Plessis rose, the former mixed martial artist, Chael Sonnen, had to swoop in with his views. The MMA analyst for ESPN was left in confusion about what du Plessis had to say about Borz. Although he claimed that the UFC negotiating with the fighters about the location might be a possibility, he couldn't get why Stillknocks believed that Chimaev was the key to the LHW division. Why would Dana White give du Plessis a LHW title shot for defeating the Chechen Wolf? Not too long ago, on his talk show, the middleweight champion said, "I believe beating Adesanya. If Khamzat beats Whitaker, beating Khamzat, that earns you a spot at light heavyweight." Sonnen had to point it out to the fight fans because he was left in utter confusion. It simply made no sense for White to hand DDP a title shot at 205 pounds just for defeating the Swedish fighter. Sonnen stated, "But there was another statement that was made and I even told my producer that read it to me. I said, you got to reread that. There's gotta be a typo. That can't be what he said." But according to the text in print, it said, "If Chimaev beats Whitaker, I would then fight Chimaev, and beating Chimaev is your ticket to light heavyweight." I gotta tell you, I'm more confused by that statement than I am with the part that he agreed on the location. He further revealed that during his career, the fighters had no choice whatsoever over the location of their fights. But he admitted that the UFC might be in the learning phase and may have adopted a few new stuff. However, he couldn't side with du Plessis saying Chimaev was the ticket to the LHW division. The American gangster then proceeded to drop down a barrage of questions directed at Stillknocks, taking wild guesses at the reason why du Plessis said what he said. Your ticket to light heavyweight. So, is that where you want to be? Is that, and why do you want to be there? Do you view it as an easier division? Or do you view it as a more coveted division? If it's more coveted, why? Because it's more difficult. Because if it's more difficult, then are you saying that you avoided it in the first place, and that's why you ever ended up at 185, or you've always wanted to go to 205 but you don't know how to get there and you couldn't get a contract so you pull off a bunch of weight? Thereafter, the former mixed martial artist began his speculations about the meaning of du Plessis' words. He stumbled upon the idea of du Plessis becoming the double champion. It was indeed a hot topic in the MMA world. Sonnen guessed, "I'm just wondering what it means. Now if I was to guess what it means, I think it's just about that champ status. That appears to be the really big and hot topic of today." In a previous episode of Ariel Helwani's The MMA Hour, right after he defeated Sean Strickland at UFC 297, Dricus du Plessis talked about who he wanted to fight next. He revealed that it didn't matter who the opponent was. He also didn't back down from naming Israel Adesanya and Khamzat Chimaev. However, he was a bit skeptical about Chimaev's eligibility, despite applauding his fighting skills. Furthermore, du Plessis put forth a statement that he would go along with the UFC's decision. "If the UFC wants to do it, that's what they're going to do, and then I'll be happy to do it," said Stillknocks. But now, the champ has garnered attention from the entire world with his recent statements.